Good evening, I'm Keisha Butts with a CTV News update. One man is dead and 4 others are in the hospital following an early morning shooting in Adelphi. Officers responded to the 1800 block of METZEROTT Road just after 12 a.m. One man was pronounced dead at the scene. He's been identified as 21-year-old Juan Maldonado. 4 other victims were taken to the hospital and are expected to be okay. Prince George's police held a press conference about the fatal shooting this afternoon.
What we know is that the group of males were hanging outside together outside of a apartment building in a common area. When they were approached by 2 males, there was an exchange of words between the 2 groups, and for unknown reasons at this point, the 2 suspects began to shoot into the group, obviously which included our decedent and the 4 males that were suffering from gunshot wounds.
Anyone with information on this incident is asked to contact Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. Tenants in Langley Park fight back against poor living conditions. A group of Latino tenants have sued their landlord and property manager. CTV News has reported on numerous complaints at Bedford and Victoria Station apartments over the last decade. The properties have changed management, but residents say they continue to live in hazardous and unsanitary conditions, which include mold, vermin, broken appliances, and a crumbling infrastructure.
I sent them demand letters saying, listing 25 different conditions that I had personally seen on these properties. I walked into one of those apartments where the bed bugs were. I thought it was mold because they were on the wall in clusters. Incredibly awful. What we did in investigating, the lawsuit isn't just about the conditions. It's about the discriminatory practice of buying up multifamily properties in Latino and heavily Latino neighborhoods, and then doing absolutely nothing but collecting rent. That's a business model, and that is their business model, and it is racist. So it's racist because they would never do that in a white gentrified community. They would go in, they would be property managers, they would be property owners, they would take care of the property because that's what makes a good investment.
The apartment complexes are currently owned by Arbor Management Acquisition Company, a real estate investment trust. Misinformation about COVID-19 has some Maryland leaders worried. Byron Scott is standing by with the details.
I'm Byron Scott. Van Hollen, former federal officials and healthcare experts held a press conference today to talk about the dangers of disinformation. For the first time in 6 months, cases are rising in all 50 states. 90% of the hospitalizations are among the unvaxxed. 99% of deaths are also among the unvaxxed. Van Hollen said with the Delta variant surging across the country, he called it absolutely disgraceful that members of Congress, right-wing talk show hosts, and others are attacking the credibility of scientists at a time when it's more important than ever to listen. Van Hollen called on leaders of states to join health experts and not to fight them. The good news, according to Van Hollen, half of the country has been vaccinated, but he adds that's not enough. I'm Byron Scott.
While Maryland has one of the nation's highest vaccination rates, the latest COVID-19 numbers show an upward trend. The state health department has confirmed 244 new COVID-19 cases. 59 of those are in Prince George's County. The positivity rate is at 1.65%. 4 people have died of COVID-19 since yesterday. Meantime, federal data released today indicates that life expectancy in the U.S. dropped by a year and a half in 2020. As the coronavirus spread across the country, the decline, which is the largest seen in a single year since World War II, had a greater impact on Black Americans, who lost 2.9 years of life expectancy. Latinos saw a drop of 3 years. To ensure everyone's safety, students and teachers should wear face coverings when schools reopen this fall. That's according to the principal of Glendale Elementary. Heather Porterfield says she agrees with the American Academy of Pediatrics. The Academy this week recommended that people over the age of 2 should wear masks in schools. The recommendation runs counter to the CDC guidance. The agency says only unvaccinated people should mask up in schools.
I think for the safety of everybody, having a universal code of everybody wear a mask when you're in public or interacting with other individuals just provides for a bigger safety net to ensure that we all can progress and move forward, trying to seek normalcy back in our community.
The county school system has not yet determined its masking policy for the upcoming school year. You're watching CTV News. I'm Keisha Butts. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. Police need your help locating a missing elderly man. 81-year-old Wendell Stepp was last seen around the 13,000 block of Winding Creek Lane in Bowie. Stepp is 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighs 162 pounds, and was last seen wearing a black shirt and khaki pants. He was also driving a black Lexus E350 with Maryland tags 74207HT. If you know anything about his whereabouts, you're asked to call 301-772-4911. Before leaving your car, don't forget to lock your doors. That's a message from the State Vehicle Theft Prevention Council. In Maryland, a car is stolen every 40 minutes. Nationally, more than 721,000 vehicles were stolen in the United States back in 2019. To prevent car thefts, you're encouraged to never leave your windows down when your vehicle is parked. Officials say thieves are looking for any opportunity to steal.
The most important thing that we try to drive home, and the Vehicle Theft Prevention Council, is lock your car, take your keys, hide your valuables. Those are the three most important things. And I know it's convenient to go out and start your car, whether it's the summer to cool it down or the winter to warm it up, or I'm just going in to get a cup of coffee or a soda or a snack. And that is just, even though you may think it's just a minute, that is more than enough time for a thief to just hop in your car and take it.
July is National Vehicle Theft Prevention Month. The gunman who fatally shot 5 Capitol Gazette employees will be sentenced this fall. Jared Ramos is set to learn his fate on September 28th. Ramos went on a violent rampage, firing multiple shots into the newsroom of the Annapolis-based newspaper back in 2018. He was recently found sane and criminally responsible for the murders. Waterkeeper groups condemn Governor Larry Hogan's move to support the license renewal of the Conowingo Dam. The coalition appealed a federal decision to grant Exelon, operators of the dam, a 50-year license. Waterkeepers say Maryland has been hit hard by trash, sediment, and debris in the Chesapeake Bay that comes downstream from the dam. Yesterday, Hogan directed the state to intervene in the appeal, effectively supporting the license renewal.
The state of Maryland identified a number of steps that the dam would have to take if it was going to clean up its discharges and allow the Chesapeake Bay and the Susquehanna River to be cleaned up as well. When the license was finally issued, it included none of those steps. None of the things that Maryland determined were necessary are in that license, which means the dam simply isn't going to get cleaned up. A number of groups, the Waterkeepers Chesapeake, Lower Susquehanna Riverkeeper, Shore Rivers, and Chesapeake Bay Foundation, all challenged the federal government's issuance of a license that doesn't include the conditions that are necessary to clean up the bay and the Susquehanna River. And yesterday, to our surprise and dismay, Maryland, under the governor's order, intervened to defend that defective license. And so our question is, and the reason we're upset is we don't understand this decision, and it looks to us like the governor is simply not representing the interests of Maryland.
The coalition says the governor's decision leaves Maryland taxpayers to foot the bill for cleanups. It was a big day for parents last week. The government started sending out advanced child care tax credit payments. For some families, it means receiving several $100s monthly for kids 17 years and younger. Democrat Anthony Brown is now calling on Congress to expand these payments for at least 5 years. He says it's lifting millions of kids out of poverty.
That shouldn't be the case just for the remainder of 2021. We've got to transform our economy by supporting our families so that everyone who wants to work can work out of the household. And that's why I think it's important that we extend this for at least 5 years, if not make it permanent.
And we'll be back with more news in a moment. Stay with us.
As they head toward the finish, Warren has built a substantial lead and headed for her 4th gold medal.
She's ahead of the world record pace by at least half a second, and she... Oh, wait, what's she doing?
I think she's doing a headstand. Why would she do that?
She's stopping. She stopped.
I've never seen
She was so
anything
close
like
to the
this.
finish, and she stopped. I don't
know what she's thinking.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I've never...
Thanks for staying with us. The Montgomery County Council passes a resolution calling on the U.S. Congress to provide universal health care coverage. The resolution is called Medicare for All. It would expand Medicare to provide dental, primary care, vision services, and more. Meantime, the Montgomery County Council is also encouraging the state's General Assembly to expand health coverage in Maryland. It's called Our Streets, Our Future, and it's a program sponsored by State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy. The initiative seeks community involvement in hopes of reducing crime and gun violence in the county. This is a video from a recent event in Bladensburg. Our Streets, Our Future event is planned for tonight in District Heights. Braveboy says the events are aimed at supporting residents.
So this is not just about law enforcement coming in saying, don't do this, don't do that. This is really about everyone providing young people with the support they need, whether it's through counseling or job training, job placement, or just getting a mentor. So those are the things that we're offering to the community, as well as, food and fun as well. But more importantly, we just want to ensure that everyone has a path to success.
Tonight's in-person event starts at 5 o'clock and goes to 7 at Oakcrest Towers at 2100 Brooks Drive in District Heights. Sports news, it was a big win for the Milwaukee Bucks. For the first time in 50 years, the NBA Bucks are champions. They took down the Phoenix Suns last night by a 105-98 score. After losing the first 2 games of the series to Phoenix, Milwaukee won 4 consecutive contests to take the title. Congrats to the Bucks. And moving on to your weather, tonight mostly clear with a low around 65 degrees. Thursday and Friday mostly sunny with daytime temps in the mid-80s. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 86. And now for the community calendar, bring your family out to enjoy nature and celebrate the 2021 Buck Moon. Join members from the Patuxent River Keeper Center and others for family storytelling, paddling, and a ceremony under the full moon. The event starts at 4 p.m. and goes until 9 p.m. Space is limited and reservations are required to attend. For those interested in renting a kayak or canoe, visit paxriverkeeper.org. Mask and social distancing are encouraged. For more information, send questions to the email on your screen. And that wraps up your CTV News Update. I'm Keisha Butts. Have a good night.
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you, get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.